Steve Robinson here. Here's Ilhan Osman, the Somali refugee who's refusing to resign his Lewiston City Council seat. He's since resigned, don't worry. But at this point in time, he was refusing to resign, despite bipartisan calls for an investigation into his false claims to live in the ward he was elected to. This morning, he pleaded not guilty to 2 separate gun theft charges. This comes after there was a massive methamphetamine trafficking case at 210 Blake Street in Lewiston involving Oman's associate, Mukhtar Abshir Aden. What in the sun god worshipping Egypt am I reading? Osman's brother, Rilwan Osman, owns 210 Blake Street, and he's also the head of the Maine Immigrant and Refugee Services, a nonprofit that was caught overbilling Maine Care by $2.4 million. Not a single Maine media outlet other than the Maine Wire was there this morning to cover his gun trafficking case, which is absolutely not surprising to me whatsoever. An Antifa-linked extremist blog in Montreal, Canada posted about how their comrades dressed up in Santa costumes packed multiple shopping trolleys with food at a Metro supermarket and then left without paying after the items were scanned at checkout. The extremists said they did the direct action as an act of charity for the community. Far-left anarchist extremists believe they have the moral duty and right to steal from whoever, beat whoever, destroy whoever, and kill whoever they want. And there's the Christmas is Ours anonymous submission to the MTL counter info. You can see all the shopping carts loaded up with stuff, people in Santa outfits. The slogan was launched by a horde of elves, Christmas is Ours. In the heart of Montreal, a group called Les Robins des Ruelles raided a Metro grocery store a few days before Christmas. This action seems to be a response to the call made by Les Solements du Fleuve, I can't speak French, the previous week, which invited people to reject the current food production and distribution system. The fuck did they mean by this? I genuinely don't understand how they get to the point of like stealing other people's labor is righteous. I don't get it, man. Like, food doesn't just materialize in the grocery store, dude. In an exemplary gesture of sharing, what a way to phrase stealing. Some of the food was left in the middle of Place Valois in Hochelaga at the foot of a Christmas tree erected for the occasion, while the rest was reportedly distributed to a community refrigerators throughout Montreal. This inspiring act of resistance calls for greater openness as the holiday season approaches. Let's leave the boring debates about solstice celebrations to the priests and secularists. Christmas belongs to no one, and therefore to everyone. Let's rediscover the spirit of the holidays, that of giving and sharing, which is necessary opposed to the logic of the economy. So if they were doing this with their own food, that'd be great, but stealing from a grocery store to do it is definitely in the spirit of communism, but it's also why communism is bad and doesn't work. You're always going to run out of someone else's labor and someone else's money, and you're never gonna want to put up your own. So I feel like these people are just absolutely ridiculous, and they should be ridiculed, and they're obviously criminals. I have no hope that they would be arrested for doing any of this. Signaling the return of the revolutionary question, the elves have spoken unequivocally. Let's expropriate the grocery chains, create collective kitchens, turn parking lots into large vegetable gardens, that worked well for Chaz, and monoculture fields into collective pantries. What do they mean by monoculture fields? Like wheat fields and corn fields? Turn them into pantries? Do they understand how pantries become full? I'm a little confused. This world does not belong to them. As the philosopher Alain Badiou, undoubtedly as old and red as Santa Claus, said, I don't even know who the fuck that is. If revolution is conceivable for us, it's through the tradition forged in these famous or obscure moments when ordinary workers, both men and women, demonstrated their capacity to fight for their rights and for everyone's rights, to operate factories, firms, administrations, schools, or armies by collectivizing the power of equality among all.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I just don't understand how anyone could even be a communist. When you look at how routinely, whenever communists come to power, the mass murder and mass starvation that immediately follows, how does anyone still have the illusion that communism is beneficial to anyone in poverty, to anyone in the working class? It's like they're all room temp IQ retarded?
Yes.
Or they genuinely believe that they will be a part of said ruling class and they can all have their, like, little knitting circles and quilting factories instead of doing anything that would actually keep society running. And it's like, no, brother, man. You're either gonna end up against the wall and fucking shot, or you're gonna be making Big Rock into Little Rock. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is literally what happens every time. Why would you think it's any different? The enablers usually get the bullet. It's like, it's so frustrating, man. And this is why I've said that, like, it's mind-boggling once again that communism isn't regarded in the same way that Nazism is, as like this horrendous ideology that killed tens of millions of people, right? Like, communism has killed more people than the Nazi ideology has. Both bad, both should be resoundingly ridiculed and demonized, and yet you can openly be a commie and that's perfectly fine. It's mind-boggling. How's the line go? There must be something wrong. I expected to be a neuro-queer video game streamer for the cause. Dig the fucking hole! Sorry, I just love this facial expression. This is the Mom Donnie's fucking advocate for tenants again. She says private homeownership is white supremacy and the people should, quote-unquote, seize private property, especially from whites. This was her face when a reporter asked if that included her mother's $1.4 million mansion. The face of, what do you mean? Not my property. I'm one of the good ones. It's from the Telegraph, apparently. And then someone who's an artist, they have comms open, so an artist here, saying, the gringos are idolizing the collectivos, government-hired assassins who are here solely to protect the chavismo from us. They aren't even Venezuelans, most of them are Cubans! Your society is so cooked. Oh my god, the one thing that white libs hate more than anything is when a brown person tells them the reality of what's going on. This was Jamal Osman, the guy that we talked about a minute ago from fucking Maine, followed by James O'Keefe. Weird. He said, today I was elected vice president of the Minneapolis City Council. Never mind, this is another one. I got him confused with the guy that stepped down in Maine. All politicians look the same to me. I'm only racist to politicians. I'm also deeply honored to be the first Somali American to serve in this role. I'm proud to represent Ward 6 along a strong Minnesota DFL majority. My door is open and I'm ready to get to work. What a time to announce being the first Somali American to serve as the vice president of the Minnesota City Council. What a fucking time to announce that. Oh yeah, this was like people trying to misconstrue what Trump said.
By the way, Venezuela, everyone, they're marching in the streets, they love it, except in New York. I mean, where they find these people? These people, and they're not like... These people are a mess. I know it's not nice to say that. These people are a mess. Where do they find these people? They're the worst looking people I've ever seen. They got hats that are all frayed and all, they look like, they're all paid. They don't even know what they're talking.
And someone was like, they're the ugliest people I've ever seen. Trump about Venezuelans, and the press burst into laughter. What a moment to be alive. Yeah, he's not talking about Venezuelans. He literally said, and then in New York. And this other person thankfully said, the good thing about knowing English is that one realizes these manipulations. Trump doesn't say that Venezuelans are ugly, but rather refers to those here in the United States who are protesting his actions in Venezuela. That is, the left-wing progressives, who are mostly Americans. And by the way, he's right. Yes, he's completely correct. It's why whenever we look at a protest, everyone's like, where the fuck did they get these old homeless people? Like, what the fuck? Trump does the best unhinged speeches. I don't know where it is, but he did another speech the other day where he was like mocking some people. I don't know what people he was mocking. But he, like, in the middle of mocking them and saying how Melania hates how he, like, makes noises when he mocks them, she's like, it's so undignified. He hits, like, the best ahegao I've seen, like, an old man ever make. I was so confused. We have to watch the ahegao video.
She gets up and they put a little tiny thing like this, little thing, And my wife, by the way, my wife hates when I do this. She said, you know, she's a very classy person, right? She said, it's so unpresidential. I said, but I did become president. She hates when I dance. I said, everybody wants me to dance.
He does a
Darling,
goofy
it's
little
not
dance.
Presidential.
Let him be goofy, Melania.
Could you imagine FDR dancing? She said that to me. And I said, there's a long history that perhaps she doesn't know. Because he was an elegant fellow, even as a Democrat, right? He was the attack by Japan, you know, he was quite elegant. But he wouldn't be doing this. But nor would too many others. But she says, darling, please, the weightlifting is terrible. And I have to say this, the dancing they really like. She said they don't like it, they're just being nice to you. I said, that's not true.
That's
the
not
place
true.
Goes crazy.
That's not,
they're screaming,
they do
dance,
like it.
Please.
Please,
but the
Trump,
weightlifting,
dance.
But no, the girl gets up.
Do your silly little orange band dance.
And you see, I want to be more, but I have somebody watching. I want to be more effusive.
Melania giving him the fucking stink eye from the audience, I bet. Just like, Donald, do not embarrass us, Donald.
I want to really, yeah.
He hits the hey-gow, and it's a fucking little e-girl Trump, bro. Put him in the maid dress. Give him the fucking camera and the computer.
But she gets it, and dropped.
I didn't know I was gonna get a montage of my president moaning for our pleasure. We need to combine this with the fucking Tucker clip of Daddy's gonna give you a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl. And cue Trump moaning. Holy shit. What is even politics anymore?
Thing. Walks off the stage crying. Her mother's crying. Her father's crying. Guy gets up. He said, have you lifted before? A little bit. And he walks up. Bing.
Bing.
He could have gone ding, 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 ding. I think it was 112 pounds, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a fucking great clip. That is a great clip, bro.
You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Minneapolis Daycare targeted in Nick Shirley YouTube video is now closed, state records show. A Minneapolis daycare featured in a right-wing YouTuber's video, he's right-wing because he investigated fraud, are you fucking out of your goddamn mind? Is now closed according to state records. Quality Learing Center closed on Tuesday according to the Minnesota Department of Human Services licensing records. The Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families said that the center requested closure of its license effective Tuesday. The provider is unable to reopen without reapplying for a license, the agency reported. I saw some other video. I don't remember if I bookmarked it, but I saw some other video of some other YouTuber guy going in and being like, we're the first people to be allowed to come into the Learing Center at the center of this conspiracy. And they were like talking to the owner's son guy who called the cops on Nick Sortor, and they were showing off like the inside of the facility. And someone pointed out that if you look at the top of the walls, it looks like they just set up some kind of like stage set to pretend that they were a functioning daycare inside of the warehouse. Your real school as a kid had walls like that, which didn't reach the ceiling. Learing Center is a scam, sure, but that on its own isn't evidence in your opinion. That on its own wouldn't be, but when you look into how they were fraudulent from the get-go, and then the only people that were able to come in and film the Learing Center were after they set up this prop scene, and then they recently closed down after that, like, it paints a picture. The center's last licensing review in June found several operational violations, but noted no evidence of fraud. So we're going to investigate the people who did that licensing review, right? We're going to investigate them too, right? In a video posted late last month, Nick Shirley visited nearly a dozen daycare centers in Minnesota, alleging they were receiving public funds but not actually providing any service. Quality Learing Center was among those targeted. When Shirley visited, the center's sign had a typo that was subsequently corrected. CBS News conducted its own analysis of several of the daycare centers Shirley mentioned. All but 2 had active licenses, according to the state records, and all active locations had been visited by state regulators within the last 6 months. The Minnesota Department of Children, Youth and Families visited 9 of the daycares from the video, finding children present at 8 of them. The 9th had not yet opened for the day when inspectors visited. Quality Learing Center received $1.9 million from Minnesota's Child Care Assistance Program in fiscal year 2025, according to the department. DCYF said that it was made aware on December 19th that the center had intended to voluntarily close, but during a visit 10 days later, it learned it had chosen to remain open. That makes it so much worse, CBS. What you talking about? Shirley's video reignited furor over fraud in Minnesota, and it should have, and I'm glad it did, and it's a good thing, because it's wild that it's been allowed to go on for as long as it has. There are so many more people than we could probably even imagine complicit in this bullshit. Federal prosecutors have charged dozens of people with allegedly defrauding state programs that offered meals to needy children, behavioral therapy for children with autism, and assistance for seniors searching for housing. The Trump administration deployed about 2,000 Department of Homeland Security agents to the Twin Cities earlier this week, with the stated goal of cracking down on fraud and undocumented immigration. DHS Secretary Noem joined the operation, which Minnesota Governor Tim Walz called a ridiculous surge and a show for the cameras that has not been coordinated with the state. Well, yeah, because you are basically a criminal, my guy. You're not allowing feds in there to deport people who are defrauding your citizens. Because you don't actually care about America. You don't actually care about Americans. You care about enriching yourself, making life worse for all of us who are actually paying taxes, and just solidifying your ability to hold power. You didn't coordinate with the fraudsters. Unfair, imagine. President Trump's Department of Health and Human Services announced late last month it would freeze all federal child care funding for Minnesota amid the fraud investigations. Good. So much more funding needs to be fucking frozen while we take care of this shit. On Tuesday, the department said it planned to halt billions more in social services funding for Minnesota and 4 other states led by Democrats. Please add Massachusetts, brother man. Walz, who earlier this week aborted his re-election campaign, accused Mr. Trump of using fraud as an excuse to attack Minnesota, saying the state is under assault like no other time in our state's history because of a petty, vile administration that doesn't care about the well-being of Minnesotans. And when you shed light on all of these cockroaches suckling at the teat of fraud, enriching themselves and other people by defrauding American taxpayers, they're going to lash out. They're going to be angry because you're taking away their free shit and their gravy train. They're going to say any and everything they can because they don't want their money flows to end. Very late-term campaign abortion, true and real. The Omar Fateh tweet where he said, received reports of a shooting by an ICE agent in my district. I'm on site gathering verified information. And then immediately says, I'm deeply concerned by reports that a doctor was denied the ability to provide life-saving CPR by federal law enforcement. Please stay safe and take care of one another. And I quote retweeted this. And like, this was like at the very beginning of the shooting happening. And so I brought up Crime Watch Minneapolis that says, South Minneapolis shooting, CPR in progress. 2 EMS rigs requested, 33rd and Portland Ave. Number 2 post from the scene of the South Minneapolis shooting, CPR in progress at 33rd and Portland Avenue. And then there's the picture of like EMS people attending to the woman. And so I was just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What the fuck is happening? And then one of the usual retards apparently took my tweet and was like, why is she celebrating or some dumb shit? And it's like, how in the fuck is asking why Omar is lying celebrating what happened? Are you actually dented? And this is how people lie about what I or someone else says, post literal evidence about how they're lying, but people still believe the lie anyways. The evidence doesn't fucking matter to people who are committed to lying. And then like several hours after this, I saw that apparently like one of the other protesters said, I'm a doctor, let me check for her pulse or some shit. And it's like, how would we even know that you are? Right? Like if I'm at the scene, I wouldn't want the actual police to have some random person who might not be a doctor, who might try to do something worse to me, who might, through not being a doctor and not maliciously, might fuck me up worse. Like, that's insane. Tanushi, thank you. There's an absolute split of reality over this event between the left and the right. We're seeing the same thing, but the left keeps saying things that don't track with reality we perceive on tape. I've seen a lot of people saying that, like, it's very weird that you can't defend yourself, and the left, like, gets angry if you defend yourself. Everyone should have known that this is what happens when Kyle Rittenhouse happened. Kyle Rittenhouse was a very clear cut. He was being chased. He was doing it in self-defense. He even didn't shoot at someone that put their hands up and only shot that person when they came back at him. So he showed an incredible level of restraint in a situation where I think most of us would not have had the ability to do so. It was incredibly impressive. And I responded to a JD Vance tweet where he said, every congressional Democrat and every Democrat who's running for president should be asked a simple question. Do you think this officer was wrong in defending his life against a deranged leftist who tried to run him over? These people are going to try and arrest our law enforcement for doing their jobs. The least the media could do is ask them about it. And I feel like JD Vance is one of the people who probably knows where we are. And my copium is that he's posting this for other people to understand where we are. Because my response was they don't need to ask themselves that because they already know the answer. Yes, the officer is wrong for defending himself, just like any of us would be. Just like Kyle Rittenhouse was wrong for defending himself. Any instance of you defending yourself against their violence makes you the bad person. And I brought up again how Jay Jones was elected as Attorney General in Virginia even after he said he would shoot his Republican opponent over Pol Pot or Hitler. And he wanted to see little fascist children die in their mother's arms. Abigail Spanberg, who is the governor-elect in Virginia right now, supported him and refused to retract support after those group chats came out. And then again, look further at all the corrupt activist judges that have soft on crime policies. They let criminals go after dozens of violent actions. Look at how someone like Carmelo Anthony has been treated. The reduction in bail, the house arrest, being allowed to graduate. How we still don't have the camera footage public of that incident. We have been living in this two-tier justice system for ages. Everything benefits people on the left and demonizes people anywhere to the right of them. If you're to the right of Mao, you might as well just get in the ground and dig your own grave. If you defend yourself, you're in the wrong. I said these people want to do much more harm than just arrest law enforcement officers doing their jobs. They don't need to ask themselves questions. They already know what they will do. Republicans are the ones who need to be asking themselves questions. Are they going to recognize what is happening and do something about it? And it feels like, probably fucking not. It feels like they just kind of want to do nothing forever. And it's kind of obnoxious. It's kind of obnoxious. EHEF, thank you. A new talking point is Obama deported more, but he didn't murder anyone. The left ignored Obama deportations and did not call for violence against ICE. They didn't do this stuff under Obama. Calling out the hypocrisies, again, is good for, like, getting more normies to understand what's going on. But calling out the hypocrisies to the people who are actively doing it isn't going to do anything. Because they know they're being hypocritical. It's not out of ignorance. It's out of malice. It's okay if they do it, but you are a Nazi. You are evil. And so if you do something that they did, it's wrong when you do it. So, Mayor Frey here said, I am aware of a shooting involving an ICE agent at 34th Street in Portland. The presence of federal immigration enforcement agents is causing chaos in our city. We're demanding ICE to leave the city immediately. We stand rock solid with our immigrant and refugee communities. And I think the best response here, you are a pathetic donkey. True and real. Mr. Donut Man down here saying they hit a federal agent with a car. What has our world become? What is happening? Like every time I read the, like, they hit a federal agent with the car, I can just hear Terry Davis screaming in my head. And I made the joke as a reply to someone, like, who knew Terry Davis was actually just a stand-up comedian? Unfortunately, the person I replied to did not know who Terry Davis was.
And I I know, man.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Do my eyes deceive me? Is this a white supremacist yelling at a marginalized black man? How could you? What kind of ally are you, sir?
I get you guys are mad. We'll do something while you guys are mad. We're out here doing something. Don't talk.
I love just watching these like fucking giant corn-fed beef Americans meander around while all the soy people are just screaming their heads off. Oh my god, like I do not know how they managed to stay calm with all the shrieking, you know?
Officer fucking reasonable. Officer reasonable. If you can get back to 33rd.
Jesus Christ.
I've seen people arguing about the stuffed animals as well. Some people are like, she had fucking children! Yeah, well, she should have thought of them before being aggressive towards ICE agents for no reason. That's on her, brother man. And then other people being like, actually, those aren't plushies for her kids. Those are plushies for her mental illness. Look, I have plushies in my car, okay? All right, like just let people enjoy plushies. That's not really something you got to focus on, brother man.
Stay back on the line.
Flying by me, so I'm like, something's happening over here, so.
This is the exact kind of woman I would expect to know absolutely everything going on in their neighborhood.
And what did you see exactly yourself?
I didn't witness, but I talked to several people that witnessed it, and they heard the gunshot. And the one guy said that they reached for her.
That guy just constantly screaming terrorist. Oh my god. I bet I could lift more weight than he can.
Door handle, and then she took off, and then he shot her through the windshield and shot her in the face. So they're taking her on the corner there by ambulance right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here with
Did he say this is our place? What did he mean by this? But there's another video here that was linked about the shooting. So let's take a little look-see-peeksy here. This is the behind view. No! And you can see the guy draw his gun at the beginning there. Asmongold showed this, so I'm assuming it's fine for me to show it too. But he pulled his gun there while he's still in front of the car. We don't even need to analyze the wheels and shit like Asmongold said. I'll bring up Asmon's video. You think this is the one from the wife? But this doesn't show what we now know that they posted like today or last night. But you can see him solidly in front of the vehicle.
What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
Also, yeah, I think this one in the hat here is the wife, the one that moved from the side of the vehicle. The one screaming is just some random harpy, and man, I'm pretty sure she's the one that says, "You just did a murder! You just did a heckin' murderino, chud!" Like, what the fuck? Here we have an anti-ICE legal observer, quote unquote. Someone got the call. The marching orders went out. She's a legal observer. Has been shot in Minneapolis while attempting to ram ICE agents with her vehicle and has reportedly been killed, sparking mass demonstrations sparked by Tim Walz and Jacob Frey condemning ICE for legally defending themselves. And we have a Minnesota alert here. Emergency, this is an all-hands-on-deck moment. A legal observer was shot and killed by ICE in South Minneapolis at 34th and Portland through their car window. We need everybody out in the streets of South Minneapolis right now to drive ICE out of our city. And this is the video on the side where you can see this brave protester here tries to grab the gun of the, I don't know what kind of agent this is. Some Fed. Grab the gun of some Fed. And thankfully for the brave protester, the gun wasn't real and he just got sprayed with like some fucking orange colored shit. And it's like they literally did the media thing here where they tried to post the picture of the guy like, putting his hand up when the officer was pointing the gun at him. They just posted this picture trying to be like, oh my god, ICE is shooting protesters randomly. Instead of showing how this guy, for several seconds, tried to grab the gun away from the military guy, cop guy, Bortek, whatever you called him. Literally trying to grab the gun from him and then gets popped by some paint.
Whoa.
Why are you screaming, kill someone else? For what fucking purpose if you are protesting? Would you scream, kill someone else? Unless you're looking for more martyrs in order to escalate your violence to an even higher degree. Is that maybe what you're trying to do, protester, sir?
Kill someone else!
I said that on side scrollers in a much more polite way. It's wild to me that a woman with a wife and with a child in her custody, even if she doesn't have child of the other two, whether she has them or not, has a child or multiple children, she would prioritize going out and antagonizing ICE to protect Somalians from being deported while they're stealing money from both Minnesota and federal tax-paying Americans. Why would you prioritize Somalians committing fraud over your own children and your own family? It's fucking wild to me. Like, it makes zero sense to anyone operating in any kind of reality. Nick Sortor reposting that video saying, new angle from ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis shows the woman clearly hitting the agent with her car before he fires at her. A vehicle is a deadly weapon, and she used that deadly weapon against an agent. Self-defense. Imagine having me defend the feds, you silly fucking leftists. You can see him in front of the vehicle. You can see the vehicle make contact and him get jiggled, and then he shoots, and then he steps to the side. Like, I genuinely do not understand, once again, how anyone could say anything else is happening, but this is what they do. They will post lies, post the video or picture evidence that debunks their lies, but still people will believe the lies over their eyes. This guy said, read this excerpt from a poem written by Renee Nicole Good, who was shot by ICE in Minneapolis after attempting to ram an agent with her vehicle. Absolutely deranged. On learning to dissect fetal pigs by Renee Nicole Macklin. I've donated Bibles to thrift stores, mashed them in plastic trash bags with an acidic Himalayan salt lamp. The post-baptism Bibles, the ones plucked from street corners from the meaty hands of zealots. The dumbed down, easy to read, parasitic kind. And I just find myself more confused than anything. Like, what does this even mean? It's like I'm reading the schizophrenic ramblings of a school shooter manifesto. It makes literally no fucking sense. Where's the poem? It's probably like that snap slam poetry, you know? Renee Macklin's from Colorado Springs, Colorado, studying creative writing at ODU. Her poetry has been published in the Metrosphere and Coronado Literary Review. She currently co-hosts a podcast with her husband, comedian Tim Macklin, when she's not writing, reading, or talking about writing. This can't be the right person, right? Because doesn't she have a wife? Doesn't she have a fucking wife? Was this old? What are they talking about? Is this the wrong person? Used to co-host, she has daddy issues and she doesn't like Christianity. I mean, it looks like her, but just with different hair. A Volgan poetry. It's old poetry. Okay. I was like, what the fuck? Macklin, Renee, Nicole. I want back my rocking chairs, slopsist sunsets. What in the fuck? Remember more the slick rubber smell of high-gloss biology text pictures. They burned the hair inside my nostrils. What the fuck? This woman just crazy, bro. She was a poet who was radicalized into leftist extremism and ultimately criminal violence. True. Her husband died in 2023. Ah, fuck. I knew that the father of the kid was dead, because I kept seeing the posts of them saying, like, now the kid has no parents. But I did not know that that was her husband. They told her to get out of the car, and then she put it in reverse and tried to run over an officer and drive away. Comply with police and don't try to run them over. This angle shows it better. I'm not gonna do the like rip bozo thing, because I think that, you know, like that's kind of rude, right? But like, I definitely agree with the rest of this. This person said, witnesses to deadly ICE incident, she was the main car leading the protest. She was very successful in what she was set to do. So it looked like she was impeding federal officers. Definitely, yeah, that was her goal.
They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. That was her goal.
And we also know now that this isn't the wife. This is some lady who witnessed it. But the wife had said that she had been the one who encouraged her wife, the one that got shot, to come to the protest. So that's very interesting. Tim Walz has said he's going to activate the National Guard. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. Can you imagine if Walz had actually done that? If Walz had tried to get the Minnesota National Guard to start a fight with federal agents? Like, if that had actually happened, and then our government did nothing about it, I'd be like, well, we're just fucked now. Because clearly our federal government doesn't want to produce any kind of show of force in the face of actual treason and seditious behavior.
You are all terrible individuals. Use that in your different fields, like. Get the fuck out! Go home! I believe it. I fucking live here! You don't fucking live here!
I would put $5 down on the fact that that guy does not live there.
I'm late for work because you motherfuckers killed people. Does that feel good? We're not fucking being here to fucking shoot people.
It's also really weird that they always ask if it feels good that they killed someone, because the obvious answer for any normal human being would be no. It doesn't feel good that you had to exact killing someone in order to defend yourself. But that kind of line of logic is lost on people who would in fact feel good if they got the chance to kill you.
Are you proud of yourself? You're proud of your daddy, show your fucking face! Show your fucking face!
Yeah, show your face so we can dox you and plaster your name and image everywhere, so then people can find your address and try to kill you and your family. Yeah, post it. It's the same as like when they fucking tell you like, oh, you're okay with saying anything because of freedom of speech. Okay, say the N-word. It's like, so you can then try and get me unpersoned? Yeah, okay. That might work on someone room temp IQ, but all right, buddy. The retard showing his face. I should take his own advice.
You're going to hell!
Are you making us live in? ICE agent shot right at us. That's hilarious. Yeah. I am Aryan. You're right. Yeah.
What? Did this dysgenic freak just say I am Aryan? What the fuck is happening? What is going on?
Este güey también es de paisa. Este güey aquí. You're fucking number two.
I like these like strap things. A bunch of the agents have them. These, I don't know what these straps are for, if they're, like, part of keeping the holster, like, stuck to their thigh or something. But all of these thigh straps really highlight the large bulges on the agents. Not to like, objectify them or anything, but, like, it's kind of hot. They're gay now! Keeps the holster stuck to their thigh. Thank you. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what it's for, but I'm not sure. Noted. Yeah, more men should wear those. A hot take. Rip the officers' wives. No, they're not gay now. Stop looting the feds. I will loot the feds. It is my right as an American citizen. I'm sure they're happy for the positive attention for once. I also like the guy screaming murderer over and over again. Good fucking God.
Okay, back up into the sidewalk, please. Thank you so much.
He says that with the tone of like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Thank you. Come again. Holy fuck.
Okay, back up into the sidewalk, please. Thank you so much. Yep, I know. We're having a very nice conversation with you, but I don't want you to fall in the street.
No, you're not. I asked you a simple question. I asked you why we're presenting murderers. And this is so we can get the investigation started and get more updates. I'm just letting you know, most importantly, we want ICE to be gone from here. And that is what we're trying to figure out.
ICE is trying to help everyone. What the fuck are you talking about? If I was told that ICE was coming to my city, I'd be like, hell yeah, but also I didn't know we had that many illegals here. She really doesn't need the megaphone. Yeah, that's also true. You can always count on every dumb protest having one really dumb lady with a megaphone. It always happens.
From there. We are trying to figure out from there, but we cannot do that with ICE over here further escalating and being problematic after already shooting a civilian. So
ICE is problematic for trying to get rid of Somalians who are taking your tax dollars to the tune of millions. The ICE is problematic, not the fraudsters.
That is our most important piece, so you're right. We're getting updates, and we're trying to get MPD to get them up out of here. That's the best way that could be helpful right now. So I just want to relay that update. Yes.
Is the LROD going to leave?
What?
Why is the LROD here now?
All right. Okay.
We're leaving?
This is leaving. Okay. Yeah, we are trying to get those folks leaving.
Okay,
so I just want to let you all know that so you all aren't in the dark about what's happening. Thank you so much.
Thanks for keeping us up.
Wait, someone lent her the megaphone? God damn. Aw, the bongos, man. I like vibing to the bongos. The drum guy assembled too.
Gonna shoot someone else and kill him! You gonna murder someone else? Come on, kill us all!
Why would you say that? Why? If you genuinely think the ICE agents are just here to kill people, why would you say, come on, kill us all? Like, what kind of a thought process is going through this literal orangutan's mind? I don't understand. Like, yeah, literal actual death cult shit.
You can't kill us!
You can't kill us all. They're not killing any of you. A bunch of retards are literally in the street and they're just spraying you. Come on. Send that man to Canada. Person clearly hates their life. It's like, what? If you genuinely thought they were here to kill people, why would you say this shit? Why would you even, like, attempt it? It doesn't make sense.
Get back!
Fuck off. Why did that guy drop to his knees? Oh, another angle of that beautiful pop.
Kill someone else! Kill someone else!
See, once again, why is he screaming, kill someone else? What is this deranged behavior? What? Cheddar blasted. It ain't easy being cheesy.
It's not worth it,
Go another way!
Move!
They're like, go another way. Holy shit. Oh my god. He was prepared with a mask. Yeah, they're spraying him like cats. Cream Monarch, thank you. The wannabes want to be martyrs so bad. It's insane. It's insane. Because he wants ICE to escalate so they have a reason to attack? Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Like, the only logic that makes sense is that they want more people to be killed so that they can escalate their violence and feel even more righteous in doing so. But it's like none of these agents actually want to kill people. Like, even that guy that shot the lady in the car, I'm sure he didn't want to do that. Nobody wants to have to shoot someone in self-defense. You just do it because it's either your life or theirs. If they're trying to kill you, you don't second guess that, man.
Go another way! Behind us!
Why does this guy think being in front of the car is a good idea? Like, the only reason you would do that is because you hope you slip and fall and become a martyr for the cause. Like, why would you stand here? Especially in light of what literally just happened. Like, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? There is nothing going on in this man's brain other than trying to make some kind of headline. Look at me, I'm fighting the Nazis.
Hey! 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 You fuck! Hey! Hey! Get the fuck out! Move! Fuck you! Fuck you! Hey, fucking move!
Finish snowballs.
You get out of here! Get out of the way! Get out!
The fucking noises of the spray can, just like, you just hear like crazed fucking lunatic yelling and then occasionally a literally like spraying the naughty cat off the counter.
Chris, get out the way! Get out the way of the truck! Move!
You can't kill us all! Bad kitty! That's a bad kitty!
Bad, Mr. Kitty! Bad? Bad! Bad kitty! No more memeing!
Fuck you, Pluto! Fuck you! Nazis! Nazis! Nazis!
You know what would probably melt these people's brains? It's just like, hey, I noticed you're calling ICE agents Nazis because they want to deport illegal immigrants. Does that mean that you're agreeing with the Prime Minister of Israel when he said that Hitler didn't want to kill the Jews, he just wanted to deport them? You know, is that the rhetoric that we're going down with here, buddy guy?
Brings back memories.
Oh, they sound like me. With the coughing. Oh, I heard that fucking rapid paintball shot, dude. I want to see who just got cheesed. I want to see who got cheesed. Chester Cheetah's taking no prisoners, man. Why is the whiteness on this video turned up so high? What kind of retard looks at people working with ICE agents and yells at them in a foreign language. That's literally like saying, yes, hello, I'm one of your targets and I just came to you. You don't even have to look for me. What the fuck is this logic?
I must apologize for Wimp Low. He is an idiot. We have purposely trained him wrong, as a joke.
Holy shit. Yeah, grab him up, mods. Twist his balls.
Look, what are you doing? You're breaking families, bitch! You're breaking families, motherfucker! Get out of their way! Get out of their... Hey, let the vehicle leave. You guys are breaking...
Short kings out here fighting commies? Oh, the short kings with the thigh straps, brother, man. Oh my god. Stop making me grin, dude. They're already cheesing the protesters. I can't be cheesing.
Families, man, you can't be doing that shit!
Bortac. I don't know if I can remember that though.
Fuck off!
Oh, that guy's slipping on the ice over there.
Get back!
What's happening? I can't see! You know what makes me sad? Seeing all of these like nice big Victorian and colonial houses all around this area and thinking about the quality of people protesting in this area and how so many of these homes have probably been turned into multi-family rentals. That really hurts my heart, brother man. Wife of woman shot dead by ICE screams, "That's my wife! I have a 6-year-old!" Seconds after her death, which, if you have children, you shouldn't be going to violent protests like this. Whenever I see anyone bringing kids to a protest, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What the actual fuck are you doing? And it's like, if you want to enact change in your political purview, you should get involved locally politically. If you have kids, why would you put yourself in this position? You should be there for your kids first and foremost. Disgustingly reckless? It absolutely is. Rep Nancy Mace over here saying, we just moved to Subpoena. Rep Ilhan Omar and her brother husband's immigration records in the Oversight Committee. Federal marriage fraud and knowingly entering a marriage to evade immigration laws is a serious felony punishable by prison time. Steep fines, denaturalization, and deportation. Marrying a sibling is illegal in every state. We intend to get to the bottom of it, end the fraud, denaturalize and deport Ilhan Omar. Thank you, Nancy Mace, for fucking doing something. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We have Gad Sad in the comments here saying, I'm delighted to hear you've engaged this process. Imagine the powerful signal that it would send if you were to deport this anti-American degenerate if all of the allegations are proven to be true. It already turned away. The Senate has already declined this. What? How did they already decline this? Why would they decline this? Fuck you, Senate. I hate you. Do we have a list of people who, like, voted against this? Is there a list? Can I get a list? Tonight, Democrats and Republicans teamed up to kill my motion to subpoena the immigration records of Ilhan Omar and her brother husband. DC did what it always does, protect its own. The American people spoke clearly in 2024. They are tired of business as usual and backroom deals. They want real accountability. She said, I was the only no on oversight when the motion to table was voted on. And someone here said, the Republican members serving with Rep Nancy Mace on the House Oversight Committee are James Comer, Kentucky, Jim Jordan, Ohio, Michael Turner, Ohio, Paul Gosar, Arizona, Virginia Fox, North Carolina, Glenn Grothman, Wisconsin, Michael Cloud, Texas, Gary Palmer, Alabama, Clay Higgins, Louisiana, Pete Sessions, Texas, Andy Biggs, Arizona, Pat Fallon, Texas, Byron Donalds, Florida, Scott Perry, Pennsylvania, William Timmons, South Carolina, Tim Burchett, Tennessee, Lauren Boebert, Colorado, Anna Paulina Luna, Florida, Nick Langworthy, New York. Eric Burleson, M.O., is that Missouri? Elijah Crane, Arizona. Brian Jack, Georgia. John McGuire, Virginia. And Brandon Gill, Texas. So it doesn't say... This just says the Republican members serving with Rep. Nancy Mace are those people. And Nancy Mace said she was the only no on oversight when the motion to table was voted on. So it sounds like this is the list of people who did not want to release the records. Please correct me if I am reading this incorrectly. Same list, like this person's also being like, Anna Paulina, why? Why would you vote against this? Michael Flynn says he knows exactly why there's been zero accountability for the Minnesota daycare fraud.
Just so people know, and I'm very transparent about what I'm doing out there for the most part. I am in the process because I want Speaker Johnson to do more. And so we started looking at Speaker Johnson's PACs and how many of his PACs turn money back around to daycare and healthcare clinics and that kind of stuff. It's incredible the amounts of money. And that's one person, but he happens to be the Speaker of the House. So this is not a partisan thing for me.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know. Why are Republicans just intent on constantly losing? Intent on not doing what their actual voter base wants them to do? It's crazy. It's insane. I'm sick of it. It's also tiresome, brother man. Secretary Noem holds a press conference on domestic terror attack in Minneapolis against ICE agents.
I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family. I encourage the American people at this point in time to pray for him, but also to pray for the deceased's family and her loved ones. Today,
oh my God, don't tell me you believe this bullshit. I don't believe this bullshit because Kristi Noem is saying it. I believe this bullshit because I've seen the video from like a million different angles with my own eyes. The woman was in the wrong. It's an unfortunate circumstance that she has died, but it is entirely her fault. She is the one that instigated the ICE agents. She is the one who was there trying to hit them with her car after blockading them from doing their job. She would be alive right now if she had just exited her vehicle instead of trying to run them over. This is a no-brainer for anyone who has functioning eyeballs.
Alone in this country, there have been 4 different domestic terrorist attacks.
She was in the wrong, but there was no need to shoot her. You see, many years ago, there was an anti-gun person who would say the same stuff, and then he went through a police training course and realized just how little time you have in the moment to decide whether to save your own life or not. And if you have, like, milliseconds to try and figure out if someone is about to kill you, you're going to defend yourself. You're not thinking about, oh, can I shoot them in the leg? Oh, can I shoot their tires? You're thinking about, this person is going to kill me, and you neutralize the threat before they neutralize you. Right? Like, this isn't a movie, man. This isn't some sort of, like, clandestine, perfect environment where everyone can slow down time and think things through. She's trying to run him over. You can hear the tires screeching on the ice. And if that ice wasn't there, he would have taken more damage than he did. Look up Officer Amy Caprio to see what happens when you hesitate shooting someone who's in a vehicle. I mean, there's many cases of it. Of course you're defending it. You guys fucking love to lick the boot of big government just because they're against people you dislike. No, I fucking hate the feds. I don't like having to defend the feds. But the radical left has gotten so violent and so crazy that the feds actually look better in comparison. It's not about licking boots, it's about having common fucking sense. Hello, Hassan Watcher. The Hassan Watchers have found me. Radical left. There's no such thing as the radical left. All right, this guy's got brain damage. This guy's got fucking brain damage. Uh-oh, retard alert. I can't do the Asman thing of just bringing him up and banning him in real time. I need my dual PC setup to do that.
We've seen over 100 of these vehicle rammings happen in just recent weeks, and this must stop. ICE alone is facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats against all of them.
Gee, I
in
wonder
fact,
why.
The very same officer who was attacked today had previously been dragged by an anti-ICE rioter who had rammed him with a car and drug him back in June. He sustained injuries at that time as well. And let me remind you why we're all here in this city today and why we've been here. In communities across this country and here in Minneapolis, we're just enforcing the laws that we have in this country. For years under President Biden, tens of millions of dangerous criminal illegal aliens, terrorists, and suspected terrorists were allowed to invade our country over our southern border. Regardless of who your mayor or who your governor is, President Trump promised every single American that he would make America safe again.
True.
He promised every single American that he would work to protect them from dangerous criminals. Since Governor Walz has been in charge of Minnesota, we have seen homicides go up by over 50%.
That's a lot.
That's
of
also
homicides.
during Mayor Frey's tenure as well. Since President Trump took office, Governor Walz has released over 470 violent criminals back onto the streets here
Remove
in
the
Minneapolis.
activist judges?
He has another 680 of them still within his jurisdiction that he could give to us today to face the consequences for their crimes. Because Governor Walz and Mayor Frey refuse to protect Minnesotans and instead
Is Frey
they
actually
protect these
pronounced
criminals,
Fry? Have I been
that's
saying
why
it
we're
wrong?
here. And we didn't just show up yesterday. We've always been here. But we're surging operations because of the dangerous situation we see in this country and because we're no longer going to allow illegal criminals to damage and harm, to kill, to sexually abuse, to proliferate drugs, and to steal American taxpayers' dollars. This state has faced unprecedented immigration fraud. It's seen unprecedented benefit fraud. Individuals were allowed to come into this country and set up fake companies and fake nonprofits and divert billions of dollars away from American citizens and those vulnerable citizens who truly needed the services from those programs. This city has burned before, and your mayor and your governor let it happen. President Trump is not going to let that happen. He and our federal law enforcement officers are here to bring peace and to bring public safety and to ensure that criminal activity is stopped and that people who perpetuate it will face consequences. Since we have been here in recent weeks, we have arrested over 1,500 criminals off of the streets.
We
Our
need
law
more
enforcement
deportations.
has arrested murderers, known and suspected terrorists, child pedophiles, and other brutal criminals that were protected here in this city. We should all work together to
Why
protect
did you say
our
child
citizens.
pedophiles?
We should
Isn't
all
that, like,
protect
doubling
the
up?
men and the women and the families who live here in Minneapolis, who live in Minnesota, and live throughout this entire country. I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank you for focusing on the priorities of this country, and that's making sure that we're keeping people safe. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
And, once again, you have the ICE agents attacking protesters after shooting innocent woman, quote unquote, kill someone else, which is what the protesters were screaming. And that Cam Higbee guy that we watched doing Islamification of America protests said, notice how this individual held his hands up in surrender and also grabbed from the officer's weapon. This is the switch up they're pulling on you. 1 second they're innocent, hands up. The next they're a deadly threat and play victim when they find out. Isn't that exactly what happened with Michael Brown grabbing the firearm of the police officer that I now forget the name of? Isn't that exactly what happened? And that's where the hands up, don't shoot lie came from? You say that, but the Liberals in Canada just rammed through legislation that allows them to do that again with no oversight, no warrant, no jurisdiction. You know? But this video, again, illustrates my point about how they will post something, and it's either going to be deceptively edited, or it's going to directly contradict what they're saying, but they post it, and the people who are instructed to not believe their lying eyes will believe the narrative over the video evidence. He grabs the gun and then gets shot by the cheese dust. He becomes the Cheeto. So once again, and you hear the kill someone else protesters screaming, once again, ICE agents attack protesters after shooting innocent woman. First of all, not innocent woman. Second of all, the protester tried to grab the gun. But these people have been instructed to believe the narrative, not their lying eyes. This person said, breaking, the wife of Renee Nicole Good, the 37-year-old Minneapolis shooting victim who attempted to run over the ICE officer, appears to have been outside the vehicle filming as her wife blocked ICE vehicles. And we do have video of this now. She is seen wearing a flannel shirt, walking around the vehicle and recording ICE officers. She later runs back to the vehicle to check on Renee. Afterwards, she tells a nearby man, "That's my wife." When he asks if she knows any of her wife's relatives she could call, she responds, "We're new here. I don't have people. I can't even breathe right now." Why was she outside the vehicle filming while her wife was blocking ICE officers? Someone had a really good post about this, but they had a really good post that said she was trying to get a cute video. She thought she was being cute. And this person said, these lunatic leftist white women are on par with those dumbass clout-chasing Twitch streamers committing crimes for an audience. And for what? Social validation. It's their main currency. These two thought they were going to have an awesome story of rebellion to tell at their next gay dinner party, with the video to prove it. They thought they were privileged enough that they could just ram a vehicle into federal investigators and expect to walk away scot-free. Why? Because their puppet masters whipped them into a frenzy and brainwashed them to commit violence, believing it to be the right thing to do. It's a fucking tragedy, but an avoidable one. Just like Charlie's assassin and many other cases, these people were radicalized by their leaders to be useful idiots and expendable pawns. He's 100% correct here, and another issue is they thought that they were privileged enough they could just ram a vehicle into federal investigators and walk away scot-free. These people are very smug about how they continuously get away with it, because we don't have lawmakers holding any of these people accountable. We never have. Even if you reach back to the Black Lives Matter riots, those rioters were being given bail by celebrities and politicians. They weren't being held accountable for anything. They were able to destroy wantonly and ruin the lives of average citizens. We were told by politicians that these people need space to destroy. We were told by doctors and quote-unquote scientists that it's not even a risk of COVID because they're fighting racism. Like, they have a reason to be smug because they have never felt any kind of consequence for the violence and the danger that they put people in.